We are back here on SportsLine. We're talking about the Titans, 1-1 now in the preseason after that 34-27 win over Carolina on Saturday. Next up, the Chicago Bears, Sunday at noon at Nissan Stadium. Should be an interesting one. The third preseason game almost always is. It gives you your best look, your best taste. Still is the preseason, but it gives you your best taste moving into the regular season. After the game on Saturday, then on Sunday, we had Paul Kuharsky from the Midday 180 on 104.5 The Zone and PaulKuharsky.com. Joined John Burton and myself in studio to help break down some of the things we saw in that game, but also just kind of the tone and tenor of the preseason for the Titans, the questions and some of the surprises that we've seen during the preseason. Let's check that out. Time now to dive inside this preseason performance with veteran Titans reporter Paul Kuharsky of the Midday 180 on 104.5 The Zone and PaulKuharsky.com. PK, I'm starting with a multiple choice question. Yesterday we learned A, preseason games don't mean much. B, the Titans are the playoff contender we thought they were. Or C, the Jets are winning the Super Bowl.
A, but listen, for the people that overreacted to the loss to the Jets, they shouldn't overreact to a win over the Panthers. Obviously, Titans look like a much better football team. I think a team a lot closer to what most of us expect to see during the regular season. But there'll probably be some Sundays where they look like they did against the Jets as well. So in the big picture, all of it doesn't mean that much. We've seen the Colts sweep the Titans on a regular basis after looking like garbage in the preseason. It's always tempting to read more into it than it deserves.
Sure. Jokes aside, though, this was much better. Mike Mularkey could not have scripted yesterday better, from the fast start on offense or the defense creating the game-changing plays they want. Yeah,
most of the top defenders played, 3 or 4 snaps, because they had a forced turnover on the first snap, a 3-and-out on the second series, and a forced turnover on the fifth snap. Very good defensive play, and then the offense you want, unless they're hitting home runs, to have extended drives, and they did. So special teams also, which has been a real big off-season emphasis, tackles from all over the place. Mike Mularkey said today, we have too many guys that can make tackles for teams to stop. And if the other team's starting inside the, not just inside the 20, but maybe inside the 10 on a regular basis, that bodes well for offensive defense.
Paul, how about the first 2 plays of yesterday's game? Auctioned off for charity to a fan, $10,000 going to ALS. First play was great. Mariota over the middle of Taywan Taylor, first down. Second play, a design run for Marcus Mariota. Now, if you're Mike Mularkey, knowing what's going on with Marcus's leg, are you a little tempted to maybe change that call?
No, I mean, they ran him by design on a rollout on the first play of the Jets game, too, to kind of get that over with. I think we're beyond the point where you can be careful with him in those ways. He's back to himself. Taywan Taylor, by the way, on that catch did a very nice job shielding the defender kind of with his body as he went and got the ball. A really nice start on offense, and that's become a nice tradition, the auctioning off of those first couple plays. That benefits a good cause. I don't know if you saw, there was a really good commercial that Mularkey did with Tim Shaw as well. It was very impactful. I got a text from my wife about it during the game when I hadn't seen it. Then I saw it during the replay. It's really good stuff.
Paul, the one thing that play does seem to illustrate is that these leg issues with Marcus Mariota are over. I asked Mariota and Mike Mularkey specifically about that this week. They both said the same thing. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'd even say he has leg issues. He had unfortunate injuries. The first year, really, I have trouble pinning it on him, right? His protection was terrible. He took 2 separate shots to a knee that landed him out for a few games each, one of them on an illegal hit from Olivier Vernon, who's gone from Miami to New York. And last year, it's a freak play, you know, where he gets tackled from behind, escaping the pocket against the Jaguars on Christmas Eve. So, you know, I'm not willing to call him injury prone, and I'm not willing to say he has leg issues. The interesting thing, and I wrote this as they came into camp, was his decision to play down, you know, in the 215, 218 range, where the Titans maybe at a time wanted him 8 or 10 pounds heavier. And, you know, this is a chicken and the egg conversation. You know, do you want to be bigger? Do you want to be John Burton so that you can withstand the hit better when it inevitably arrives? Or do you want to be sleeker like Layman here so that you can avoid the hit better? And there's no right answer, because if there was, we'd see all John Burtons or all Steve Laymans, and we don't. So I think
the combo.
I think he'll do fine. Yes, let's morph the two of you.
You don't want to see all John Burtons out there. All right, no DeMarco Murray so far this preseason, but we've seen a lot of Derrick Henry, and he had another solid game yesterday, a couple touchdowns. Everybody wants to know, how are the carries going to be divided between those two this season?
That's a very tough run front for him to go against yesterday, and I think his average was 2.3 yards a carry. Everybody's going to see the 2 touchdowns. He was, and the offensive front. If you try to move laterally against Carolina, you have a lot of trouble. The 17-yard touchdown run was a big surprise because he was able to go wide left, kind of take his time, let things develop, and go. Maybe you're going to hit one once in a while against Carolina. You're not going to see many runs like that against them. Listen, I think all the Derrick Henry talk amounts to an insult to DeMarco Murray, who's a better all-around back. I think the split's going to be roughly the same as it was last year. I think they'll be in more 4-minute at the end of games with a lead where they're trying to milk the clock, where they bring in a fresh, big guy who can deliver a pounding, help you get a couple first downs. His carries could go up from there. His carries could go up if Murray misses some time. And I tell you, you pull one play yesterday, I think it was against Julius Peppers, where Matt Castle quickly looped around, ran for his life, and threw the ball away. The guy that missed a blitz pickup on that play was Derrick Henry. I don't think DeMarco Murray misses that play. I think they can depend on DeMarco Murray in those situations more. I think that's a piece of it also.
Obviously, Murray and Henry are expected to produce this year, but who so far in this camp has surprised you?
David Fluellen probably is a top answer there. I think he's all but won the 3rd running back job, and Khalfani Muhammad, a late pick, but a small, quick guy who looked like a nice change of pace to what Murray and Henry bring. Seemed like a guy that would have a chance. He hasn't gone very high. And Fluellen not only is working as the 3rd guy, which is effectively the 2nd guy with Murray out, but he was even back for kickoff returns that you thought would have been Muhammad's chances. He's done quite well. He also missed a blitz pickup yesterday, I think, but he had a nice 53-yard run. Got caught from behind. He's not the fastest guy in the world. He's a hard-working guy who can give them everything they want, I think, at that position. He's been a nice surprise. Kalen Reed has really come on strong at corner, also playing some safety. Jayon Brown, we expected to be good. I don't know if we expected him to be this good this soon.
Okay, PK, take a walk with me.
Let's stroll.
We're going to take a look at some prominent figures on this Titans team that should play key roles this season, starting with the #1 pick, Corey Davis, who we haven't seen anything of really in the preseason. How does his absence and some other guys out yesterday impact the ability for Mariota, 1, to get chemistry with those receivers, and 2, for the coaches to figure out which 5 or 6 guys they're going to keep?
Yeah, well, for Davis, the chemistry issue's big because they didn't play together during OTAs either and minicamp. Mariota was out for all of that except 7-on-7. Corey Davis was out for the early part of that because he had ankle surgery right after his college career finished. Wide receivers with early hamstring injuries, rookie wide receivers with early hamstring injuries, I hate to say it, but sometimes it takes a long, long time to sort things out. Malarkey said today he thinks that Corey Davis is on track to be back for an appearance in the 4th preseason game, which would be important. You always want to keep that guy on the shelf for, what, 5-7 days longer than you think, because the worst thing in the world is he tweaks it after he's back from it. Then you go in that never-ending cycle.
Right. Moving down to the next #1 pick, that would be Adoree Jackson, who we saw something yesterday we have not seen in a long time from the Titans special teams. So, PK, where does Adoree fit this season as a rookie on this team, defense and special?
Well, it's got to be the punt returner right out of the gate. I don't see why you wouldn't put him there. And based on the way they're not using him at corner so far, you would absolutely have no reason not to let him be the punt returner. Electric. There were 2 penalties on the play. Logan Ryan with the soft touch in the back. He didn't need to touch the guy. Philip Supernaw, I thought, did hold the guy that I don't know if he was going to get him in the hole or not. But those 2 penalties, at least, I thought amounted to 1 penalty that would have undone it. But Malarkey said, hey, we haven't seen a return like that since I've been here, even with the penalties. So he was excited about that. He's not in the top 3 right now with Logan Ryan, the clear #1, LaShawn Sims playing the other starting position, and Bryce McCain as the nickel back. That means they have 4 they like. Is he going to get into the 3 that are on the field most of the time? Are they going to rotate through those 4? Still to be determined. His closing speed and his ball skills, to me, if you have the number 18 pick in the draft on a team that was very bad at cornerback and can't find room for him in your top 3, I wonder. I think he needs to be out there sooner rather than later, and I like the other 3 guys.
One thing's clear, you can't teach that skill set. Now, we just heard from Kevin Byard off the top of the segment. He continues to shine. So when we talk about him and the other additions in the secondary, are the concerns alleviated there in your mind?
Well, he's the only returning starter out of the top 4 in the secondary. He and McCain, if McCain remains the nickel. So this is a guy that they want to kind of build that group around. He's going to be more the center fielder this year, which is where a lot of us wanted to see him last year. But the personnel dictated that he be more in the box. And clearly in these 2 games, we've seen him make plays in the box. He's a phenomenal diagnoser of run plays who's able to close on the ball very quickly. We want to see him, though, playing center field, letting Jonathan Cyprien do some of that work, a very good run-stopping safety who's not as good in space. Let Byard play center field, get his hands on a lot of passes, break things up. I think he's going to force turnovers in both the run game and the pass game, but I think his ball skills now, with Logan Ryan, who's got good ball skills, with LaShawn Sims, who seems to have them, and with Adoree Jackson, who definitely has them, I think that's a pretty good revamping. I don't think you go from being one of the worst secondaries in the league to one of the best. Make the trip halfway.
Serviceable.
And that's a huge accomplishment. And maybe there's more upside than that. Also, you know, if the pass rush is going well, a little bit better, say, if Kevin Dodd's able to get in there and help, then guys like this won't have to cover quite as long.
PK, great stuff. If you want to read more from Paul, go to paulkuharsky.com. PK, tell the folks at home what they'll find there this season.
Well, today you'll find my work that took me until about 12:30 last night off the 2 o'clock start. I looked at every guy in the game for the Titans and have a note on everyone. I hope that sort of in-depth coverage is going to be what you'll get here on a regular basis. Membership drive is starting soon. I've been free so far. It's not going to stay that way, but I hope what the people have gotten, you know, Amy Adams Strunk talking about the uniforms first, a look behind the scenes at Jerry Jones's Hall of Fame party, a look at how Taylor Lewan has turned the corner, these kind of reports off the preseason game, my Twitter fight with Jason Lockheim-Fora, all that documented here. I think you'll find it worth your while, and you'll want to be part of the club. The way you have to have the jersey of your favorite player, if you're a real Titans fan, you're going to have a membership here.
He's Paul Kuharsky. Read his stuff and listen to him here tonight. Thanks
so much.
I appreciate it. Paul Kuharsky, very interesting stuff as a guy who's around the team every single day, as we are as well. But, you know, he's covered them dating back to the late 90s and really just involved in this organization and knows the insides and outs. And it was interesting stuff to have that perspective as well with us on Sunday night. So we appreciate him coming in. We'll take a break. More Titan stuff right after this here on News Channel 5+.